This one feels like magic. I read In Watermelon Sugar by Richard Brautigan in 2023. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I loved this book. I didn't know what to think when it was recommended to me, and the eccentric imagery and seemingly obtuse story stimulated a deep part of my brain that loves to hypothesize symbols and attach meaning. It's poetic and dark and mysterious in a way that feels like a Yorgos Lanthimos film. The deadpan delivery began to feel like a mantra as I progressed through it. It put me in a trance and brought me to another level of being, of viewing, and of understanding. Even as my craving sought to assign its characters and locations and their behaviors in the book to my own life, I was able to step back and appreciate the intense creativity and wild world described without fully connecting the dots. I haven't fully given up trying to place myself in the story, but I was able to actively love the abstract beauty and particular execution of this book without exactly knowing what it all means. I think it's interesting how some people have labeled it post-apocalyptic. Because the fiction is so otherworldly, it feels much more psychedelic than something that can be explained in any concept of our reality, even something in an unknown future. My takeaway is that we shouldn't try to place this book's ideas. We should just experience them as they are, gorgeous and demented and unique. I can't say enough about this book. Sometimes certain books that are particularly abstract miss the mark for me in that they are so detached from a narrative story that they don't make sense to me. And I think the criticism that I've read about this book feels like that people are saying that this doesn't make sense. For me, In Watermelon Sugar had the perfect mix of clues. I like how I say in this review that this book stimulated a deep part of my brain that wants to attach meaning to those sorts of things. I felt that way throughout this book. It felt like magic. It felt like the allusions to some way of living meant something. And then, as I get to in this review, the real understanding was experiencing them as they are and not trying to ground them in some sort of literal meaning. That was kind of the best part. The ability to experience the beauty and the intensity and the wild creativity here without trying to make it part of a lived-in experience. It was the perfect almost. It was almost real and still wildly creative and wildly interesting. I understand that some people don't like it. I understand that it doesn't mean anything to some people, but it meant a lot to me. And I'm so happy that it was shared with me. I'm so happy to have this book. I don't know how to recommend it because its non-meaning feels purposeful. And I'm not sure how to share that with others. But I know that if the right connection comes up, it will be time for this book again. The weird connection to the Harry Styles song, I don't know if there's any sort of connection here. I didn't know that this book existed before it was shared with me. The different things I've heard about the meaning of that song or what the intended meaning of the song was have very little to do with anything that's in this story. But the non sequitur that comes between the imagery and the combination of watermelon, sugar, seems to be a creative common thread somewhere in the universe. This book is special and will always be special to me. I will hold on to my copy, a deeply used, seemingly found copy that I had sent to me from the internet. And if this kind of liminal space reading is interesting to you, I think you should pick up one just like this. It's called In Watermelon Sugar by Richard Brautigan. I read it in 2023. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorites. Till next.